Ambazonia, but the taxes are paid in the neighboring French Cameroon town in Douala. So sometimes people say we are fighting because of marginalization. It's not about marginalization. It's about our identity.
Hello and welcome to Channel Africa Conversations. I'm your host, Peter Ndoro. And on today's episode, well, we focus on the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. And this is the Anglophone regions of Cameroon that declared independence from Cameroon in 2017. And sadly, it's been for a long time a region that's been embroiled in a conflict that's led to significant loss of life and displacement. Our guest today is somebody who's been pivotal in terms of advocating for the rights and the recognition of English-speaking population amidst this turmoil that's been playing out. Well, in this episode, we're going to try and shed some light on the historical context of the Anglophone-Francophone divide, the current state of what was known as Southern Cameroons, and explore the potential pathways to peace and resolution for Ambazonia. And to help us unpack this relatively little-known story of Ambazonia is the Federal Republic's Vice President, Mr. Dabney Yerima. Thanks very much indeed for joining us, and welcome to Channel Africa Conversations.
Thank you, Peter, for having me.
Well, let's start with the historical divide, because it starts in 1961, this story. Even though you declared independence 2017, it does go back decades. And we see it as a Francophone, Anglophone divide, but it's a little bit more complex than that, I believe.
That is correct, Peter. And I believe when I had the opportunity to travel abroad, you know, I could deduce from people who knew about Cameroon as a French country. But how did that all happen? You know, French Cameroon had her independence on the 1st of January 1960. And they were the Republic of Cameroon. So when the former British Trust Territory of Southern Cameroons, which is now Ambazonia, or some people call it Southern Cameroons, you know, they got their independence on the 21st of April, 1961. But by a fake plebiscite by the UN, Britain and France, they decided that we'll get independence by joining Nigeria or French Cameroon, or the Republic of Cameroon. Let me use that so that your audience can understand. And so that plebiscite held, the fake plebiscite, and the results was that we were going to form a federation with with the Republic of Cameroon as two states of equal status. So the federal constitution, there's a clause in the federal constitution which state that nobody in any way should ever change the status of the country. That is a federal country. Then 11 years after that, in 1972, the then president, Ahmadou Ahidjo, you know, abandoned the federation and through a presidential decree, changed the name of the country to the United Republic of Cameroon. So he didn't, you know, seek the concerns of our leaders. He used his big pen to do that. So our people petitioned, but to no avail because he had the military on his side. They had unpacked the Southern Cameroon's police and everything in our capital, Mboya, to Yaoundé. So they could do nothing. So that was when they started their assimilation and annexation policy. So the whole deal behind the federation was to annex and assimilate Ambazonia. So in 1992, when Paul Biya took over from him, Paul Biya now changed the name to the original name of the Republic of Cameroon, which today we know is the Republic of Cameroon. So he came now to complete the assimilation process the annexation process, which was their plan. So he changed it to the Republic of Cameroon, and since then, you know, he's been ruling with a heavy hand. So if you go back to our history, you'll see that our people have been fighting for the reinstatement of our independence. They've made many trips, like our leaders, like Foncha before their death and Muna. They've made many trips to the UN to ask that they correct the wrongs of that plebiscite. But it has always fallen on deaf ears. And today, we find ourselves in a genocidal war going on, because when all of these things were evolving, our people sat at one time in what is called the All Anglophones Conference 1. That took place on the 3rd and 4th of April, 1993 at Mount Mary in Boya. So, the resolution of that All Anglophone Conference was that Paul Biya should return the country to the federal state that was agreed, you know, with that gentleman, I want to put that clause, gentleman agreement during the time of the fake plebiscite. So Paul Biya did not listen to their quest. So the following year, there was AAC2, the All Anglophone Conference 2. This time it was in Bamenda, in Tamalung. So that is when our leaders at the time decided and said, we are going to form the Southern Cameroon's National Council, which I'm a member. And that Southern Cameroon's National Council will become the governing body of the Southern Cameroon's people. So before then, you had leaders like late Abel Mukong, who fought. He spent almost all his life, you know, between the 60s to the time of AAC2. He spent almost all his life in jail because he was fighting for the quest of reinstating the independence of Southern Cameroon. May his soul rest in peace. So SCNC had been like the leading organization. We had other organizations like the Southern Cameroon's People's Conference. We had the Cameroon Anglophone Movement that were fighting along SCNC to reinstate the independence of Southern Cameroons. And they collaborated and at one time took our case to the African Court in the Gambias. And the ruling was on our favor. But the Republic of Cameroon has never respected that ruling.
So why has Yaoundé wanted to hold on to Southern Cameroons? What is there that they couldn't let go of?
I believe one thing about our people is our people are very hardworking. They're very productive. And moreover, when they discovered that we were very rich in natural resources, I think that is what has held them to stay. Like presently, Southern Cameroons provide about 60% of the GDP of the country. So how will you let them go? And they exploit the oil in Limbe, in Ambazonia, but the taxes are paid in the neighboring French Cameroon town in Douala. So sometimes people say we are fighting because of marginalization. It's not about marginalization. It's about our identity. You know, it's about our identity. We are a people. And moreover, we are two different peoples with defined international boundaries.
So again, often it's reduced to Francophone, Anglophone. But what I've experienced across the continent is that those borders were fictitious, drawn on lines of longitude and latitude, and often not a reflection of the dynamics on the ground. Culturally, if we take English and French aside, Southern Cameroons and Cameroon, where they start to merge and come together, is there a similarity of the people on the ground, or is that a natural division that can say, yes, this makes sense to have Ambazonia here and Cameroon there?
To the best of my knowledge, I believe culturally we are different because it is the impact of what? Colonization. If we want to look at maybe certain traditional similarities, you could find some identities with cultures in French Cameroon that are closer to Ambazonia. But the whole issue is the impact of colonization that has changed us. For instance, we practice common law. They practice civil law. So those are two things that you cannot mix together. So these are the differences that it just makes us totally different. And those are some of the things that they were trying to impose on us. Imposing civil law, in our courts, judging our people with civil law, and then our lawyers have been trained with through common law, and then a judge will be judging through civil law. No, it doesn't work that way. And then they will send French teachers, people who don't understand English, to teach our children. It doesn't work that way because they have grown up in this kind of Anglo-Saxon tradition or way of life, I should say. So you cannot mix the two. It cannot work.
Yeah, we've seen in some countries.
That one, Comrade Dabney Yerima, where it represent Ambazonian leader the way La Republic they will kidnap them from Nigeria. They can go breach all international law them, carry them go down for La Republic. Now, it make some pertinent points them for day, and it make sure say it give an educative message. That channel, first of all, a South African channel where it shows say it go worldwide. A lot of people them they come to understand what it be actually Ambazonian struggle. Now, this one a good thing where if we talk say this, so if I say more push them for outside, that means everybody he put his own little bit for push the struggle forward. But all this little bit, it will be better when all we come together. We'll make sure say this, so we'll stand with one voice and we'll do the right things them. Unity be better than any other thing we expect or imagine for this world. Thank you very much, Comrade Yerima, for your outspokenness and very, very elaborate explanation on the plight of the people of Southern Cameroon. Thank you very much. And I hope say this, so this message will go as far as possible, because no matter what, Ambazonia must come to pass. It must come to pass, and La République du Cameroun do everything possible to ensure say the silence will voice for the international stage. But I still call on you, Comrade Dabney Yerima, for call on all the other Ambazonians them, all other people them, all other group them. Una come together. No before come together say they can represent this group, I represent this group. No. Me all man fall for a community. Una fit champion this particular project. Una champion this particular mission. We go help bring back momentum for this struggle. Community mobilization. Me all Ambazonians fall back for their community. Una champion this one, it will help a lot, because we don't try them. We see and see that the best way for continue for get a sustainable grassroots support base. Now, the team will be seeing for 2016, 15, 17, 18. We'll be seeing it be work. We'll see Ambazonia protest all over the world. We'll still do them again. And I talk that way as I can talk for you, Comrade Dabney Yerima, in front of all Ambazonians. They may know say this, so this one, it don't reach you. Thank you very much. Share this video as far as you can. What we need now unity. Unity by our communities, reviving, remobilizing our communities. We need that unity. Ambazonia and people come together for play with the day, move form a solid force and talk one voice. Thank you now.